Hey guys, welcome to my channel Miss Recap. Today I'm going to explain a horror sci-fi movie, Crimes of the Future. Spoiler ahead, watch out and take care. The movie begins with a young boy playing at the beach near the water's edge. Further into the sea, a futuristic spaceship is docked on the water. The boy's mother is on the balcony of the house, overlooking the beach, and she tells him that he should not eat anything he finds on the shore. After playing, the boy goes home and brushes his teeth. He spits inside the plastic trash bin in the restroom and then begins eating it. He is chopping on it heartily, and his mother catches him. She does not say anything but just accompanies her son to the bed. When he is sound asleep, she goes to him with the pillow in her hands and smothers him with it. The boy struggles to breathe and calls out for his mother, but she just presses the pillow into his face harder. The mother does not really show any grief or remorse. She just sits on the toilet after she killed the boy. She picks up the phone and calls her ex-husband and the boy's father, telling him that she will be leaving the boy's corpse alone on the beach house and he can pick it up. She spitefully says that she does not consider the boy to be their son because he is a disgusting creature, alluding that the boy's ability to ingest plastic is what makes him a monster. The mother only cries after she hangs up the phone. The father arrives hours later and cries over the dead body of the boy. Elsewhere, a man named Saul is sleeping inside a weird cocoon-like contraption that's connected to his body. This machine is used to keep him alive because he has a rare evolutionary disease. His wife, Caprice, comes inside the room and wakes him up. He weakly says that something's wrong with the machine because he is been in pain all night. Caprice informed him that the test they conducted last night revealed that he is growing a new organ inside the body, which might be why he is been experiencing discomfort. Caprice inserts a black tube inside Saul's stomach to take a closer look at the new organ. It's still too early to tell, but she thinks it's similar to an adrenal gland. Saul's disease pushes his body to keep on regenerating vestigial organs, or organs that once functioned inside human beings' bodies, but lost their purpose due to evolutionary change. Because of his disease, Saul regularly suffers from several digestive and pulmonary problems, which is why he needs the assistance of machine. Case in point, Saul needs to be strapped to another machine that resembles a chair. It feels him every time he has to eat. However, it's very uncomfortable and Saul does not find eating enjoyable anymore. Later that night, Caprice takes Saul to the office of the National Organ Registry. On the way, they pass by the father on the street. Inside the shabby office, they meet the head investigator and his colleague, Timlin. The investigator explains that the government is concerned about the advanced evolution of human bodies in recent years. Due to pollution and climate change, many people don't feel pain anymore. The government established the organ registry in order to track these mutations in humans. They summoned Saul because of his condition. The nervous and twitchy Timlin probes Caprice about her relationship with Saul. Caprice responds that they are a performance artist couple. Their shows involve Caprice surgically removing the vestigial organ that Saul grows inside his body. Using a device and ink, they regularly perform in front of a live audience. Caprice also revealed that she and Saul first meet when he was an injured soldier and she was a trauma surgeon. Through their love, they discovered their passion for the arts in organ. Saul is once again strapped on a table. Timlin and the investigator examine his newly sprouted organ with the device. He explains that they will be marking the organ with a registration tattoo so they can keep track of it. He also adds that when people started acquiring the ability to grow organs in their bodies, it seems that they can pass on the ability to their offspring as well. The government now wants a more stringent registration of the mutations because the children are arguably not human already. Caprice tries to film the examination with the camera in her ring, but the uptight Timlin tells her that it's not allowed. Before they leave, Saul invites the two of them to their next show. Two technicians from the company that produced Saul's bed and chair arrive at Saul's apartment to adjust the machines. They gush over the autopsy unit that Saul has, commenting that these units have not been produced since before they were born. Caprice explains that she uses the autopsy unit during their performances. The night of their next show arrives, the audience fills the dark theater. Both technicians Timlin and the investigator are in attendance as well. On the stage, Saul is naked inside the autopsy unit. Caprice is dressed in a sexy dark red dress, and a circle of buttons glimmer under her chest. Her hand seductively curves the buttons controlling the limbs of the autopsy unit as they split Saul open. The limbs extricate the vestigial organ with Caprice's freshly inked tattoo on it, and the crowd cheers. The father is also watching the show. He does not say anything but merrily pulls out a candy bar and eats it. After the show, Timlin approaches Caprice and Saul. The couple is lounging on chairs with Saul bundled in a heavy dark cloak. Timlin leans in uncomfortably close to Saul and tells him that watching their surgical performance aroused her, and she likens surgery to an intimate act. Saul grins at her and feels proud that their performance elicited that reaction. Caprice does not like how Timlin is unabashedly flirting with her husband, and she frowns. Elsewhere in the theater, a man eats the candy bar that the dead boy's father had left on the counter. The man takes a bite, but moments later he chokes and dies. Timlin and the investigator are interviewed by a detective from the police department. He is interested in the case of Saul. The detective does not really believe that what Saul and Caprice are doing is art. Timlin defends them by saying that Saul takes control of his disease through art. The investigator comes up with a theory that Saul seems to be willing the creation of new organs. The next morning, Saul and Caprice discovered that he is growing a new organ already. Usually the interval is longer, but recently it has been speeding up. Saul is delighted to know this and comments that she and Caprice just need to do more shows. Saul attended the show of a fellow performance artist. The man has ears sprouting all over his body, growing like mushrooms, and his body like a tree trunk. A woman approaches Saul there. She works for a biotechnology company, and she suggests that Saul consult with a cosmetic surgeon regarding his condition. When Saul steps out into the alley, the dead boy's father sees him from across the street. He approaches Saul and tells him about an idea for a performance. He suggests that Saul and Caprice perform a live autopsy on the corpse of his son. The father promises that there will be a surprise waiting for them inside. Saul runs the idea with Caprice. She agrees, but they would need to modify the autopsy unit. She lays inside the unit naked, while Saul controls the buttons so they can check what they need to modify. Later that night, Saul slips out of the apartment and meets with the detective. It turns out he is doing undercover work for them. The detectives department is investigating the rising cases of body modifications. Saul tells him about the investigation to consult with the surgeon, and the detective agrees that he should pursue that lead. In addition, he requests to talk with the mother who killed her son at the beginning of the movie. The two technicians visit the apartment again to tweak the autopsy unit. Saul visits the surgeon, who recommends that he get a zipper attached to his stomach so he can easily show people the vestigial organ he is growing. Additionally, the surgeon also invites Saul to be a contestant in an underground pageant for people who want to show off their growing organs. When he gets home, he saw the new modification to Caprice. He kneels and tongue massages his open stomach to pleasure him. The next day, Saul goes to the prison to talk with the dead boy's mother. She is adamant that her son was not human but a monster that was deliberately created by the father, who is part of a radical evolutionist group. The members of this group all modified their digestive systems so they would be able to ingest plastics. The candy bar that the father was eating during the show was actually made of toxic waste, which was why the man died after eating it. At the time, the father heads to the warehouse where the evolutionist group is busy manufacturing the candy bars. He tells his right-hand man that he will be going public soon with the son's unique ability, and he is expecting that many people will join their cause. Caprice attends a performance art show where a beautiful woman gets scars inflicted on her face. Caprice is intrigued by the brutality and elegance of the act, and the scared woman invites her to join the after party. Later that day, she meets Saul. He is surprised to see that she has come home with scar modification on her forehead. Caprice tells him that she wants to be more open and daring as an artist and asks Saul if she can lead the autopsy show they will do. Saul agrees. Saul visits the organ registry office next. He first talks with the investigator, who reveals that he is the registrar of the illegal pageant. The investigator hints that Saul has a great chance of winning in his category. Saul talks to Timlin next. He asks the mousy girl if she knows about people being able to modify their entire digestive system so they can ingest plastic. Timlin answers that she has only encountered single organ growths in her career. Afterward, she tries to seduce Saul with her hormones, but he rebuffs her advances due to her bad hormones. That night, Caprice and Saul meet with the father to discuss his son's autopsy show. However, Caprice is apprehensive about cutting open that dead body in public, but the father insists that he needs to make a public statement to defy the government's efforts to crack down on evolutionists. He argues that Saul has spent his life being tortured by the chairs that feed him and the bed that adjusts his body for him. When the organs grows inside of him is a natural process that should not be hindered. It turns out the dead boy's father is presenting the candy bars as the solution to Saul's digestive problems, implying that his body has evolved due to the world's environmental decline. And now he is equipped to ingest toxic waste to survive. Saul meets with the detective again. His new mission is to infiltrate the father's evolutionist group. The government has been paying close attention to them because they are deviating from being human already. The two female technicians knock on the surgeon's door. They inform him that they are there to recalibrate his feeding chair, which is similar to what Saul uses. However, they were actually sent there to assassinate the surgeon. The technicians drill holes in his head and leave him in the feeding chair. Caprice and Saul meet with the dead boy's father again. This time he tells them more about the group. He reveals that they have a vast network of evolutionists around the world who believe that human bodies have to evolve to keep up with the destruction made by modern technology. As part of their belief, they all had extensive surgery to make their digestive systems capable of ingesting plastic and toxic waste as nourishment. The dead boy was special because he was the first human born with a natural digestive system capable of digesting plastic. The father wanted to show him to the world as a symbol of hope, but since his wife killed the boy, the father decided that he will just do a public autopsy so the people will see what the boy's digestive system looked like. The show begins. The boy's corpse is inside the autopsy unit, being presented to the crowd as Caprice gives an emotional narration. Saul is in the wings controlling the unit's limbs and cutting the boy's body open. The investigators and the two technicians are in the audience once more, but when they reveal the boy's stomach, his digestive system appears to look like a normal human's, except his organ was rotten, and there are crude tattoos scrawled on them. The dead boy's father flees the theater in tears, despite it not being what they expected. Caprice seamlessly improvises a dramatic explanation of the boy's digestive system. The father sits down on the front steps and cries. The two technicians come up behind him and drill into his head to kill him. Saul meets with the detective again. This time, he demands the truth behind what happened. The detective confesses that Timlin replaced the boy's natural digestive system with a normal human digestive system in order to prevent the truth about evolution from coming out in public. Timlin was so eager to do the job because she wanted to replace Caprice as Saul's partner. Saul expresses admiration for the father's cause, signifying that he is dismayed with the police and the government repression. It is implied that Saul will not work undercover for the police again. The next day, Saul is sicker and weaker. He is struggling with the feeding chair once again. He gets fed up and opts to try one of the candy bars the dead boy's father made. Caprice tears open the packaging and feeds it to him. Moments after he swallows the first bite of plastic, the pain leaves Saul's face, meaning that he is evolved to be able to digest the toxic candy bars now. The movie ends with Saul in complete euphoria. Finally, he accepts that the dead boy father and his group are right. Saul does not have a disease, but is an evolutionary hope for future humanity. The movie ends here. Thanks for watching. If you like it, so please don't forget to subscribe my channel.